Collective. Hey, what is going on? Welcome into the channel. So happy to have you here always. My name is Deborah, owner of Purusha Holistic Wellness, and this is another episode of Purusha Intuitive, where we're going to look at the energy for the week via the tarot astrology and any channeled messages that come through. So let's get into it. Welcome in. We are going to be wrapping up Aquarius season. Oh, excuse me. We're going to be, wrapping up Aquarius season this week. We are finishing out it with a new moon solar eclipse tomorrow, February 17th. We'll talk a little bit about that this evening, but then we'll move into Pisces on the 18th. And there's a couple other things that are happening as we're closing out the month of February. Mercury is going to go into retrograde. Saturn and Neptune are in conjunction. They've been following closely behind one another for the last little bit and have recently moved into Aries. So it does put a little bit of a new spin on things. And there are some challenging aspects with this new moon. We'll talk about it. We've been kind of feeling some of that tension, some of that frustration, some of the emotion, especially those places where it's not really getting processed. It's not actually like working itself out. Things keep getting stuck, or there's no momentum, or we're feeling like things are falling on deaf ears, etc. And that can be really aggravating, right? We can ruminate. That came up in our health and well-being reading on Sunday. Check it out if you're interested. But we can definitely get stuck ruminating over things, keeping us stuck in the past, especially if they're places where we might not get the closure that we're looking for. And so Aquarian energy, hey Karen, what is going on? We are going to look into what the good word is tonight. We're having a little bit of a rocky start to the week. Well, it is really dependent on where we're at. If we're managing ourselves, and I know that kind of goes without saying, but that's definitely the energy of the full moon, or the new moon, new moon, solar eclipse. Solar eclipse, it's the beginning of the eclipse season. That heralds times of change, where things in our environment are going to be shifting around for the next little bit and looking a little different. But if we're kind of doing the work, if we've been putting in good, positive intention, whatever that looks like, basically not being an a-hole or just using low vibey mechanisms to get what we want, control, manipulation, taking advantage of that kind of stuff, then we'll be good. Hey, how's it going? Welcome in, guys. So excited to see you here. I hope you're doing well. I know. It's the energy is, it's interesting. I think that there has been a lot building up underneath the surface. And I feel that vibe too, or kind of like, it's exciting. It is bringing this enlivenment of energy. We're in Aquarius season. It's air energy, air element, I should say. And so it does kind of get us in the mode, in movement specifically, like let's make things happen. And things have been weird as to how they are panning out, right? So that's really why the way that they're, sorry, I don't know if if you guys heard me, sorry, but just the way that they're actually faring, it's a little bit different than what we're anticipating. And that's exactly where some of this intensity is playing out with this new moon in Aquarius with Uranus specifically. Uranus can bring in sudden and unexpected change. It's been in retrograde for a hot minute. It just went direct beginning of the month. And so now there is more movement, momentum, more wiggle room in the collective. Depending on how we have been channeling our energy is definitely going to indicate what what results, right? So again, why I like to start off the readings just with an energy cleansing, just to set the tone, set the vibe for the reading, cleanse out those places we might feel blocked or limited in our own lives. It's a really good time to set your own intention as well, especially if you do have something on your heart, on your mind, something you want Spirit to deliver messages to you around. Definitely give that over, be open to receive. Spirit is always looking to speak to us through symbolism, through channeled messages, whatever throughout our day. And it's a great way to personalize these collective readings. I also do personal readings. I offer a variety of healing and wellness services. Readings are one of them. If you want me to look at your specific situation, how it's faring, where it's headed, or if you are interested in more of that rebalancing of self, alignment of your mind, body, soul, I do energy healing as well as Ayurvedic or holistic wellness consultations. Which really help. All those tools just help us align. They become more, help us to become more established in self. And I would love to help support that for you in whatever way. It really helps us feel more abundant, more fulfilled in our lives. It puts us on that trajectory of success. And I would love to help support that for you. If you're interested, definitely hit me up. All the info to get into contact with me is in the description box below. All right, let's get into it. I bless you with pure love and light, pure source energy, pure loving grace. I release anything that is not for your highest and best. Any fears, doubts, insecurities, lack of worth, lack of value, pain, anger, frustration, impatience, overwhelm. Cleanse it and release it from our being so we may see and understand the messages clearly and help to make me a clear and open channel for the collective. Thank you, Father God, Spirit guides, guardian angels, Mama love. Okay. All right, let's get into it. I'm hearing so it's interesting. The astrology moving into, I'm going to pull up the chart right now, moving into the new moon is pretty quiet. Yes, there is what is highlighted beginning of the week is a little bit more tension. We have, like I said in the very beginning and probably on repeat lately, is we do have a lot of support, but the support is coming on that plane of saying, okay, this is not working, this is out of balance, this needs to be looked at, and I'm going to make some changes accordingly. I got to listen to my intuition. I know I'm going to have to put in some hard work, etc., right? That's really where things are working in our favor. But there's a lot of ego that's getting caught into that, and that's where we're seeing most of the tension, the resistance towards healing. And it might not even be within yourself, right? Maybe you're really showing up for yourself in a way that you're proud of yourself, right? But then you come into contact with other people, situations that challenge the work that you're doing, right? Or kind of whatever you're bettering yourself around, whatever is leading you towards that success. Because kind of exactly like you pointed out, right? There's good energy, there's good momentum, and that is that Aquarian energy. I like that we've been having the new moons at the end of the season because I feel like we've been able to learn lessons throughout according to that energy, right? And then now we're getting excited. There is excitement. We just have to make sure that we're staying on the right side of the line, I guess. But honestly, that can be a little bit tricky. It can be a little bit dicey because that looks different for everyone, right? But I love our overarching energy this week. It's all about wisdom, the owl. And the owl is very feminine. We've been getting a lot of feminine energy come up. So as much as, yes, we're ready to go, we're feeling that specifically with Saturn and Neptune moving into Aries, understanding our wants and needs a little bit better and feeling more inspired to do so. Especially if you are coming from a time of solidarity, or you're giving yourself more space to process things through, like we see with the Oslet, who is very individual, likes to go it alone, and not in a bad way. This is more about gaining information, tools, resources, etc. There is some grief at play, and I think we're going to be seeing this a lot with the new moon. I like new moon energy because it is very inspiring, because it does remind us, oh, so beautiful. I love the blue morphle. It does really help kind of redirect us. It's an opportunity to go back to the drawing board and saying like, okay, what's working and what's not type thing. And the things that aren't working, we're changing, we're making the adjustments. And that's exactly what this blue morphle is representing, as you're moving forward this week. There are some things that are not easy pills to swallow. I'm hearing these are coming through specifically with like realizations around people, around situations, reality of like where things have gotten you is what I'm hearing with this weeping willow. Okay, the orchid. It's been a time, the orchid is in our blocked energy. We're in a time where there is limitation. The orchid represents luxury, this type of just like affluence, feeling good, etc. And we're not really getting a lot of that. If anything, I feel like we're being put through the ringer a little too much. That's my opinion, But so the name of the game is not getting too lost in the woe is me, the victim mentality. And I think that's really hard to do right now, right? Because if we are feeling a level of injustice or not being heard, that's where it's really easy to get stuck in the rumination, especially because we know what we deserve. Our soul knows what it deserves, right? And when we go without for so long, it can feel very difficult. It can feel like grief. It can feel like sadness and pain. But I think that that's kind of the moral of the story, that component of seeing the bigger picture, seeing the abundance that is here. Also recognizing that it does take time for cycles to close out. The world has been popping up for us a little bit in our readings. I love the world. It's a very affirming energy, especially about the level of success you've achieved. Again, it might not feel great, all the things, right? There is this underpinning of grief, and we've been seeing this a lot. The weeping willow can get lost in that as well, the sadness, the pain, and that's where that tension is going to pop up if we're not mindful during the full or the new moon. I keep saying full moon. It has a little bit of full moon energy because Uranus can be erratic. Uranus, like I said, it can bring in that sudden, unexpected change. But it's also incredibly innovative and accepting and inclusive. It's just when people aren't, I think this is a lot where that ego comes into play, when we're not being understood, or they don't want to reciprocate, be on the same side, on the same team. It can feel really offensive, right? But that's where this wisdom component comes into play. And it looks like throughout the week, you're going to have to, invest in your wisdom, invest in what you've learned, and these are more things that are coming through from your reflections, right? Your reflections about your life, about your world, what's brought you to where you're at right now. Those are the trickier things to look at, especially with Venus tensely aspected to Black Moon, Lilith, and Chiron. Because sometimes we want to sell ourselves the lie or the disbelief, the untruth, right? And it's you know, because some of this stuff is looking a little bit bleak. We have Two of Cups, which is a really beautiful energy. Two of Cups, beginning of the week. Ten of Pentacles, Page of Cups, Ace of Wands. So it looks like there is some relationship around you. Let's see who and what this is to the collective. Like we talked about, I want to see. Okay. Let's look at this a little bit. The Sun, clarity. Someone's having a really hard time seeing things for what they are at this point. I'm seeing like a lot of change. I'm seeing you separate yourself from something, someone, something. And I feel like this situation thinks that it's coming back together with this Two of Cups, or there's an expectation for things to maybe go back to the same. Clarity is being blocked in the beginning of the week, again, where some of that frustration, tension is mounting, and it results in this Four of Pentacles. So when we feel like we have to self-protect, and this might be a person, individual who just is not seeing things clearly, like almost like, or not, maybe not getting advice, talking things over with people, like only letting, I'm kind of hearing it's like only letting it ruminate in their mind. And so it ends up becoming pretty distorted is what I'm seeing. It might be about their own victory, their own success with the Chariot. Okay, let's see how this is going. Okay, the Devil, of course. And that's what... So it's... Okay, let's clarify this Devil. Page of Pentacles. Someone who's holding something over you. Seven of Pentacles. Okay, so it looks like someone might not like a certain response that you have beginning of the week. It's like they're offering you some type of connection, reconnection, that type of vibe. This might be someone who you've had like, you haven't really dealt with a lot. And so the energy feels really separate beginning of the week. But like I said, there's not a lot of clear understanding on someone's end. Whoever took space, I don't know. I guess it can go both ways, because if someone's habit is ghosting or just like removing themselves, or like I said, not getting sound feedback, wisdom from outside sources. And so when this energy comes back around, it just feels like really icky. Going back into bad behavior. And I think this is part of the lack of progress, or those places that like feeling like movement is very slow right now. Okay, so we have the Emperor popping up. Someone's getting ready, or you're getting ready for someone. I think that everything is not in alignment quite yet. And it looks like whatever this energy is that's coming around. Okay. Like something's not completely put together. It's not completely ready for you quite yet. And I feel like that's kind of manifesting in the background, right? I'm seeing this like, because there's still this other outside energy that you're dealing with that, you know, is offering you something. I don't know. I don't know what level of quality it is. It doesn't feel that great, because again, we're getting the Four of Pentacles and the Devil. And this definitely is a manipulative energy, a controlling energy, someone who wants to be able to dictate. And it's interesting. I'm drawn to, like, I kept looking at this little heart up in the top corner up there. And then look at the devil playing with that heart. That's what it feels like this energy is to you, you know? And you know this. I don't think this is anything new under the sun, because this for you is something that you've really had to learn how to sniff out. A person, a dynamic that's just not the healthiest at all. And I feel like you've kind of been slowly working yourself out of this. I feel like this has popped up a fair amount in our readings. And beginning of the week, it looks like, again, a lot of what we're being challenged to do is rise above and not let it hurt our ego too much. Easier said than done on some level, you know. But again, you're comfortable and confident in yourself beginning of the week. Like, I get this energy of you. Whatever you're doing right now is working, and it's giving you this extra sense of like, okay, I got this. I can do this. I can handle this, etc. And maybe someone's trying to mess with that. I don't know, probably because of this devil energy right here. They don't know what, well, they want connection, but it's a very, you know, it's not a healthy, it doesn't feel very healthy. Sorry. No shade to whoever, you know, but it just kind of feels a little bit more like there's a lot of immaturity. And so it resorts to bad behavior. And again, this is not anything new under the sun. I don't want to stick too long on this because I'm also really excited about this energy that's popping up with the Emperor. I feel like this is the energy that's getting ready for you. This is the energy that is transforming for you. And it's coming in. Like I said, it doesn't look like it's completely ready yet. It looks like someone has a lot on their plate, something. And reshuffling. I'm hearing this as someone who's kind of like gathering their resources right now. Yeah, with realigning. Something's happened for them that completely shifted. I don't maybe yes, shifted the trajectory, but I feel like it kind of broke down their structure. So whatever they were dealing with, they're trying to put the pieces not back together, but together in a new way that I feel like is way more situated for you, if that makes sense. We'll see how this energy continues to come up. I'm going to put these back in as we move forward. So middle of the week, we're getting the Weeping Willow. Let's see our chart. Okay. It feels a little more positive or more hopeful. You know, we kind of get over that hump of the new moon, and then we're moving right into Pisces season. And I think when we hit Pisces energy, it allows us to be more connected with our heart, our emotions, our feelings. Pisces is incredibly mystical as well, so intuition is definitely heightened. And that water element gets heightened as well midweek. That's again why we probably are seeing the energy like all in our feels. And it's really interesting because I was seeing this softening with Venus and Jupiter specifically. So like a softening of the energy. Page of Cups, Ace of Pentacles comes out. Offers on the table coming in, new offers to change, to grow, something solid, something good. It's the beginning of something small, but the offer is heartfelt. It's heartfelt. And let's see how this fares out. We're getting some tension with Saturn and Neptune and the vertex point. So this kind of goes back to that lingering energy we keep picking up on. People who don't want things to change, whether that's they're refusing to accept that things are changing, or they're just throwing toxicity left and right to get your attention, type 5. This doesn't feel like that. It might be this one and the same energy, same person, same dynamic, etc. Take it how it fits for you. But it does look, okay, I like this. So we're getting the World. I love this. The World popping up for us again. And our blocked energy is the Five of Cups. So again, it's confirming that wallowing in our misery. Like whatever is preparing itself for you feels like you're not really anticipating it. Maybe you're like something's coming out of left field. Let's look at what this Tower is. Let's break this down a little bit more. Okay, so there's some type of conflict popping up. Well, this energy makes sense why you're upset, why there is a little bit of frustration. The Moon is tensely aspected to the Fortune point, so maybe being a little bit disappointed about like whatever is happening. I don't know. I don't really like this energy. Someone's trying to fight. Someone's trying to fight and make something hard on you. I don't know if you're, maybe you expect this, right? Like, I don't know. It does look like someone's trying to penalize you. This might be the same energy as this Two of Cups, whomever is offering you something beginning of the week. And I feel like there's some type of conflict, some type of, it feels like confrontation. I'm hearing words exchanged. It feels like, and it doesn't, I don't think it like, for you, it doesn't feel good. Like maybe you're a little offended, by either what's being said or the accusations. I think it's not true because we have this Page of Wands energy, which is a lot of immaturity. And again, that's that resistance to not only the vertex point, which is about like culmination, letting things kind of go in the direction they need to go so we can keep evolving, growing, changing, etc. But they're also tensely aspected to the Fortune point, and that's Saturn and Neptune. So like we're not really seeing a lot of the fruits of our labor, the success play out. And it feels a little bit like that midweek, and it feels like someone's trying to use that against you or throwing something at you that, again, is maybe meant to hurt. It does feel intentional because there's a lot of woe is me. The Five of Cups is such a want energy. It's just like someone who is definitely in victim mentality and they can't get over it. And so it's like no matter what you say, it's not going to help. Actually, it's the tagline in the original deck is crying over spilt milk, which I love because it does have, again, this like immature energy of something who can't really come to grips with whatever is happening, whatever this change, it is change, but it also is culmination. Like I was saying earlier, the World symbolizes like having everything in its right place. And I love it, especially in this deck. It's so powerful, even if like not everything in our life is in perfect order. That's the way that your strength, your integrity is showing up this week. And I think it is just challenging people, unfortunately or not, right? But it's also representing that things are changing and they're moving forward in a positive way, especially if you continue to kind of navigate the conflicts that are thrown your way. The Five of Wands also symbolizes competition, right? So it's just kind of like outsmarting your competition is what I'm hearing. Six of Swords offers us that peaceful, tranquil energy. I think there is grief that comes with this, right? There's always grief that comes with ending, and especially when people are like not being very nice or, saying things that are hurtful or whatever. That's not fun to be a part of for anybody. But again, that is that reverberation, the residual from the new moon in Aquarius. All right, so we got end of the week. We're in Pisces season. We're getting a little bit more support on the emotional level. Energy feels a little bit better. Yeah, there still is like rubs to the ego, ramifications, reverberations, like I was just saying. That's more about like the offenses that people do. Well, I don't like how they handled this. I don't like that they couldn't see this about me, or whatever it may be, right? The places where people are being stubborn, rebellious, snarky, whatever. But again, like, you're coming out, your energy is so great. I love the blue morpho. I mean, it's actually in nature. This is one of my favorite fun facts. In nature, blue is one of the hardest colors to make. And so butterflies represent transformation, death and rebirth, and becoming a new version of yourself. And I feel like in this like very beautiful, authentically unique way. And that's exactly those positive transits that I was talking about in the astrology. That's exactly where we're leveling up, stepping into this new sense of courage, power, strength. Again, you feel good. You're like overcoming things. Your wisdom is being put to the test, but it also doesn't look like it's swaying you very easily. You have to deal with some stuff, but it also just feels like things that you've been down the road before. And it's more grievances. It's more things that, yes, there's a lot of water under the bridge. There's a lot of hurt. There's a lot of pain. And, some people, well, change is happening whether we like it or not. And King of Wands, okay, we get Knight of Swords and the blocked energy. Let's see who this King of Wands is to the collective. The Hangman, new perspective. So like a lot of ups and downs is what it feels like. And the Judgment, wake up call. I feel like, okay, so it looks like someone is forced into an energy of change, right? Because as you are continuing to maintain yourself, you're calling people to higher standard. This has come up a lot, 100% with that Empress coming out again. Here's the thing, because your life is continuing to move, and this is where that movement is really working in our favor. As we're going into Pisces season, it's going to allow us to see how things feel. The changes that are happening, the new things that we're plugging into, the new experiences that are popping up for us, which it does feel like there are some things happening. Yes, there's old stuff going on, stuff that you're currently dealing with that needs sorting. But at the same time, there's new situations that are coming in as well. I want to pull on this. I don't feel like this is the same thing as what I was picking up earlier, but this is someone who's actually helping balance out some of the burdens and stress, especially if someone is like intentionally causing trouble. It looks like you have someone coming to your aid, coming to your side about things. They are expressing support. We have a lot of feminine energy, a lot of support in that way. That's been coming up a lot for us in the collective. And even if it's not necessarily a woman, it's that vibe of really tapping in. Feminine energy, if we think about it, it is about love, about support, nurturing your heart, and that might even be something you're doing for yourself, right? Covering your heart and sending a little love message to yourself, doing some intentional breathing, realign. Like, there is going to have to, I think it would be highly encouraged to have some type of things to fall back on, some type of wellness practices to fall back on when things do get a little intense. like I said, it does look like you get that emotional support. I know. I feel you too, Karen, 100%. This is more hopeful. It is like, and you can even as I'm like talking, I can feel it a little bit more in the energy, right? Like than what it's been in the past. Like I feel like in the past, whatever this heavier energy is, it's been weighing down. It's more of a ball and chain. But it feels like it's starting to diffuse. It's starting to separate. I think that this support that you're getting is actually really important as well, because I think it is, again, a congratulations, a reward for the hard work that you have been doing with this Eight of Pentacles. It's someone who can definitely see through the BS. They can see the stress. They can see those places where you need the extra help. And this is what it's all about, right? It's actually someone who might have even like not sided with you, or I don't know. I don't feel like this is a new person. I feel like this is someone that you know. I feel like this is someone that like maybe has kind of been around in the situation for a while. It's just like, it looks like people are throwing sticks and stones. That's what I'm seeing. Eight of Swords, sticks and stones. And I think you have to continue to stay in this high vibration. It looks like that. Yes, I think there's a little dip in energy middle of the week, feeling disappointed, feeling there's grief, right? And we need to allow ourselves to grieve as long as we're not getting stuck in that. I think it's more about like the annoyance. Maybe that's overly simplified, but just the annoyance of things being where they're at and maybe not a lot of movement, right? There is some movement this week. I want to clarify this King of Wands before I close out who this is to the collective. Someone wanting more information. Page of Wands. The person who was acting a little wild at the beginning of the week. The King of Wands is a wild energy, you know, and here's the thing. When we're not listening to our intuition and we're just bulldozing ahead, that gets us into a lot of trouble, right? It either just like puts us in a bad frame of mind, or it hurts our ego and then we might react poorly type thing. The Justice, someone who made a quick decision. A quick decision that maybe wasn't the best quick decision to be made. Yeah, there's our Chariot again. A self-serving decision is what I'm seeing. But again, I think that this is someone who's actually like tripping themselves up. And this Queen of Cups, whatever this is to you, can see right through it. And I think it's actually helping bring in a little bit more balance. But it's balance in a way that someone doesn't like. Wherever you're getting a lot of this pushback from, they're being forced. They're being forced. But this is an energy that doesn't really want to be held down, is what I'm seeing. Yeah. They don't want to be held down. And so at the end of the day, it's yeah, making decisions from that space, from that selfishness, etc. And you know this. I think this is, again, it's not anything new, but you have a better handle on it. And there is more hope. And even though there still is some restriction happening, it doesn't feel as free as we would like it to right now. Moving into the Pisces is going to help us gauge exactly where we need to make those changes and adjustments so that we are feeling good about ourselves, about our life. The sunlight blessing. A ray of light bursts through the cloud of uncertainty, and darkness transforms to light. A new day is born, and the first buds of spring appear. You are blessed with the birth of something new. A new season of your life begins with this very special blessing. I love this. I'm hearing it's like It's about the clarity that's coming around the situations that you're dealing with. And it's also like the blessing. Like, I'm hearing part of that clarity as well is part of the closure, right? Getting answers that you need, being able to see through people, situations, dynamics, and things that are like, sorry, this is like a bajillion cards, but like things that are like working out in your favor, right? Like things, and I feel like in a certain type of way that it hasn't worked for you for a minute, and not because you were doing something wrong, but because there was a lack of understanding, a lack of belief, a lack of acceptance, the reasons that you had to kind of separate yourself, going back to these beginning messages, the reasons you had to, it's not only about self-protecting, but it is just about giving yourself space to grow in that wisdom. And that's exactly what you are doing. I love this. The next blessing, the cards never lie. The blessing of a door closing. One moment, nothing is happening. Then everything seems to happen at once. A door soon closes, but before you know it, another opens. You walk through into a bright new life, one in which you can be who you truly are. How awesome. I love that. I don't even need to say anymore because it's totally in alignment with what we've been talking about, and a blessing of good fortune. We need it. Actually, I was going to say that too. Just because this is blocked right now doesn't mean that it's not going to change, right? Like, we go through seasons. That's actually what the Wheel of Fortune is all about. Sometimes life is good and abundant and we're like living the good life. And other times we do have to limit. We do have to kind of, make sure we're honoring our responsibilities, etc. We don't have as much freedom, as much luxury, etc. But that's where the blessing of good fortune comes in. Rich and rewarding experiences bring you increased spiritual awareness at this time. Good fortune flows to you as your third eye opens. You are inspired, feeling totally at peace. Life is a beautiful tapestry woven in the threads of love. I love that too. I was just reminded of how Saturn and Neptune have moved into Aries, and that is the opportunity for us to really listen to our intuition, right? That third eye opening, and then doing the actual work behind it. It's going to get us really good results. And like I said, moving into Pisces season is going to help us tune into our emotions a little bit more. They're going to be front and center. We're going to have to deal with them, right? So we might as well look at them, get comfortable. And emotions are our indicators. They are our guidance system as to whether something's like good for us or not. And with all that positive encouragement towards self, bettering self, honoring self, that's what's getting us to these new beginnings, right? The door closing and another one opening, which I love. And I think we're seeing a lot of this stuff close out that we have. It might not all wrap up this week because maybe, I don't know, someone, I don't know, they're on the fence. There's a lot going on for them. And I think everyone's situation is going to be a little bit different. I see someone one toe in, one toe out. They're trying to see what they can get you to do first before they make any decisions. They're holding on as well, but you're kind of doing other things. Like, this is an energy you're kind of used to this game, and it looks like it's dissipating a lot this week. And even though it does feel really restricting, it's allowing you to level up. It's allowing you to glow up. I don't know if that's the right way to use that, but I just feel like you're really aligning with yourself in a very beautiful and authentic way. It's having authentic courage and power and strength, dignity, poise, wisdom, etc. Wisdom, that's hard won. You've busted your butt to get here, and you should be rewarded for it. So I hope you enjoyed the reading. Thank you so much for your time, energy, always. I super appreciate you. I hope you found messages resonated here for you. Definitely drop comments below. Sorry, I'm energy is starting to wane a little bit. So thank you so much for tuning in, especially if you ended this far in the video and the reading. I super appreciate you. No, it blesses my heart so much. I will be back live, I think, Thursday morning. I will try to remember to put that on the post or posting it before I do the day before. But if I don't, I apologize in advance and it will be up. All right. I hope you have a fabulous day, fabulous evening. Oh, also the new moon. Sorry. I don't know. I have a lot going on tomorrow. I'm not sure if I'll be able to upload a reading, but I'm really hoping I'll be able to. So stay tuned. All right. Sorry for the unload of info. Sending all the love, all the blessings your way. Have a fabulous evening. I will talk to you soon.